Kalla Malak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, I will give you pastors according to mine heart. And one of the prophecies of the Holy Bible has said that the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, will give you pastors according to his heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. You see, let's go over to that scripture of Jeremiah 3:15. Here we have that scripture of Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. It is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that speaks by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, according to the scripture of Luke 1:70. Now, many people do not want to come to terms with that, but that's the truth. And those men are once again here in reincarnation, prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. True knowledge and understanding is increasing throughout the earth due to his men speaking truth upon the four corners of this earth. Knowledge shall increase according to the scripture of Daniel 12:4, and it has increased. The scripture of Matthew 24:14 has said, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that time draws near now that Babylon the Great has reached her 250-year mark. It's on her way out. She's on her way out. In this faith and truthful gospel of ours, there are believers as well as non-believers. But the scriptures of Romans 3:3 has said, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. You see? In this truth, you're going to have believers and non-believers. Blessed are those that believe and have not seen. Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? So in other words, are you going to stop prophecy from fulfilling itself due to your own unbelief or of the unbelief of others? The answer to that is no. No. In this day and age, people need to see in order to believe. Blessed are those that believe and yet have not seen. But when they see all hell breaking loose, just as the prophecies have said, that's when they shall believe and say, there was a prophet among us. When all hell breaks loose upon this earth, many Israelites shall perish in their unbelief. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? And Romans 3:4 goes on to say, the Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Most High forbid, meaning no. Let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, meaning that everything written and spoken of in the scriptures, spoken of the Lord, Yahweh Yahushai, will fulfill itself and eventually come to pass. Plus, the word of the Lord does not go back void unto him, according to the scripture of Isaiah 55:11. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is not a man that he should lie, according to the scripture of Numbers 23:19, that I covered earlier in the lesson. For those who do not believe, that will not stop the truth, and neither will it stop the prophecies in these end times from being fulfilled. The truth will not be overthrown due to the prophecy of Matthew 24:14, which says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." You see? And what we do out here in these streets and online is to warn you of that great tribulation to come. So we do not care if you do not believe. Scriptures have said, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?" That being said, let's go over to 2 Corinthians 6:14. 2 Corinthians 6:14. "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness?" Right. And those that think differently are in darkness. The etymology of the word yoke means to be joined together. In other words, do not be coupled or attached or joined together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? In other words, do not be united, joined or linked together with unbelievers, because they will corrupt you when it comes to the things of the world. Do not be linked to unbelievers the same way oxen are yoked together with one another. Being yoked with unbelievers will lead you back to that bondage, that servitude and enslavement of the system. We know that the wicked of the earth hates the light. And this is one of the reasons why our videos are being removed, because this biblical word of truth is getting to them. They know we're speaking the truth, and it's piercing their very souls. Remember that Hebrews 4:12 has said, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." This word penetrates. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. Right, because it pierces. It pierces with its truth. And that's why you people despise it so much. But you ain't going to do nothing against it. Even if you do not believe, the prophecies of the Lord shall still come. And many shall die in their unbelief. Hebrews 4:12, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." Quick, meaning that it brings us back to life. And when it comes to words, they are more hurtful than an ass whooping, because words tend to pierce and go straight to the heart, meaning the mind. That's why the scripture of Hebrews 4:12 has said, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit." You see? "And of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." So these biblical words are more hurtful than an ass whooping, right? Because it's telling you the truth, the absolute truth, that many do not want to hear. But that's just too damn bad. you don't want to hear it, go elsewhere. The word is fire, according to the scripture of Jeremiah 5:14. But we all know that unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. That is found upon the scripture of Titus 1:15. Let's also go over to that scripture. Titus 1:15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. You see? That's why they say the things that they say and do the things that they do, because their mind and conscience is defiled. Whoso despises the word shall be destroyed, according to the scripture of Proverbs 13:13. And that is exactly what's coming unto the haters and unto these unbelievers, pure destruction. Here we have that scripture of Proverbs 13:13. Whoso despises the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. In other words, destruction is coming for those who despise this biblical word. And unto those that fear, the commandment shall be rewarded. Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right. There are fools in not believing. Few prophecies remain, especially the CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. And when that comes in full swing, then that third world war cometh quickly. But whosoever, which talks of Israelites, takes it shall also be destroyed. The end of this system and of this wicked empire is nearly at its end, now that it has reached its 250-year mark. Scriptures have said, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob as the beginning of it that followeth. Let's also go over to that scripture. 2 Esdras 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau, Edom, represents the wicked on that left-hand side of the spectrum, and is the end of this current wicked world. But Jacob, on the other hand, represents the righteous of the earth that is next in line to rule in absolute righteousness. And they consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You are the true 12 tribes of Israel, and the beginning of it that followeth. A new righteous chapter will begin for the true nation of Israel. And when it comes to true Israel, they shall colonize other worlds, other mansions, the planets. Israel, seek the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, while he yet may be found, because great tribulation cometh our way. With that being said, Kalalal Malak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of Master Ruel. Blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakta. Shalom.